do you have a team? Do you have a rooting interest in football?
Yeah. I have a team I very much like. It used to be Denver because this is an interesting thing that happened. I never liked Peyton Manning. I don't know why, but I just didn't.
Are you a Brady guy, or are you just an anti-Peyton guy?
No, I just for some reason didn't like Peyton. I didn't like that Eli. I really didn't like that Eli was drafted by Seattle and said, no, I'm going somewhere else. I'm like, what? You're allowed to do that?
Elway did that to Baltimore.
That's right. He did. You're right. So I said, so anyways, but Peyton Manning one time, I was in a hotel in New York and I was leaving it and Peyton Manning was coming in and he walked up to me and he said, hi, I'm a big fan. Peyton Manning? You know, like he said his own name as if he needed to. And I liked him. That's how shallow I am. A guy likes me and then I like him.
Well, you know he was there that night.
What night?
At Radio City Music Hall.
Oh, well, you're right.
He was a young.
He was really young.
Yeah, he was super young. He's one of the awkward cutaways. That you always get.
Right, because I remember looking and going, "Wow, is that him?" Because I saw just recently, and another guy that hated me was Bill Bradley.
Well, I mean, even if he liked you, he couldn't show that he liked you. He's in politics. You know how that goes.
Exactly. But no, my team is the Seattle Seahawks because I love Russell, you know. But I'll tell you this, man, I love Chip Kelly. I really love Chip Kelly. I don't like Kaepernick.
Not in the NFL?
Pardon me?
You like Chip Kelly in the NFL?
Yeah,
really?
I do, yeah. I think it's crazy to fire him because I just love that, you know, exciting, super fast offense. I think it's such a great idea if it's perfected, but they never give him long enough, you know? Because a team, it's almost like, in basketball, the triangle offense, if that even exists or is anything. But to do it that fast, that, you know, almost no huddle, speed, you know, for the entire game. It takes a while, you know, for everybody to get comfortable with it, but you'd think once they got comfortable with it, they just crush everybody.
Everybody gets comfortable but your defense. That keeps having to go out there.
Like, oh my God.
For 40 minutes.
That's very true.
I feel like you should get extra money if you play 40 minutes in a 60-minute game, you know.
That's very true.
That's spoken like a comedian. Hey, if I'm doing more time, you gotta break up the money.
Right. Remember when Baltimore's defense was so dominant and they were, you know, they'd just be moving around like ready to go with Ray Lewis in front, and God, that must have instilled such fear.
They used to play a lot of time because their offense couldn't stay on the field, so they regularly would do 40 minutes.
Right. And I guess it'll be interesting. You know, I keep hearing Denver being written off, but you know, they won with Peyton throwing 10-yard passes, and then, you know, they got to the playoffs with Tebow and they won a game.
Yeah. I mean, look, the defense for the last couple of years has shown the ability to finish even whatever is going on the offensive side of the ball. So, I don't know if that's going to be true of Seattle. Because you just dropped the game to the Rams, who looked like
that was kind of crazy. Yeah.
Division I AA in week 1. They had no business winning in week 2, but you know.
I know. I had them in. I somehow survived my my pool because the first week my suicide. I have a suicide pool for a lot of money, and I had Seattle week 1. And I had Baltimore.
You took Seattle in week 1.
Well, week 1 is so bizarre.
No faith in your team. No faith in them to go far.
Wait, no. I took Seattle to win.
No, I know, but you saved the good team.
Yeah, I know, but I was told that you have to win. I've never played a suicide pool.
Okay.
So I said, I had this whole, you know, I looked at the entire year and I had it all figured out. And then my friend said, no, everybody tries that and then they lose right away. So he goes, you gotta survive. That's the whole thing. And then you think strategy later.
No.
But I just creeped by with Seattle, and then last week I had Baltimore.
Oh, so, okay. And, that was a good week to take Baltimore.
I was down 20-2 when I turned on the TV. I woke up late.
I don't think you want Baltimore the rest of the year after the way they looked in the first half.
Oh, my God. And then I said to my kid, how did they get a safety? And then they got no other points. And he said, no, they ran back a missed field goal.
Yeah.
Which,
anything can happen when Cleveland's playing.
I know, that's true.
Anything can happen.
That's absolutely true.
Now, kind of like you, is one of the things you talk about in your book is gambling.
Yes, sir.
Like you, I don't drink and I don't smoke any of that stuff anymore. I'm on the bench. I did it once upon a time, but it went bad.
Me too.
So, will you recommend gambling? Because I need a vice. I feel like I need something in my life.
No. I wouldn't recommend gambling. No. It's a lot of fun. And you don't hurt yourself physically, except your nerves and stuff. But, there was one type of gambling that was so crazy. It was called lightning, and it only works on over-under bets, total bets. But, you do it in basketball. So let's say the total was 180. Mm-hmm. So you bet so many dollars per point, So you start, so let's say you bet, if you're crazy, $1,000 a point. So you start $180,000 down, and then every 2 points they get, you go. So
whoa.
But
who does this?
So every basket, your heart's racing. Every missed basket. But once it hits 180, then it's $2,000 per basket, So then you're like in a dreamland. And then if it hits overtime, you're like, oh my God. So that's the craziest thing of it. Cause right from the first whistle, everything's important, But I
can't do that with like a J.R. Smith game or anything like that.
No. I have learned with professional football, which seems like the easiest thing to predict, I think is the hardest thing to predict. I think baseball is the easiest thing to predict in gambling, because baseball is a game of streaks. Like, for instance, Kirk Gibson's home run. Mm-hmm. Here's the Dodgers playing Oakland. Mm-hmm. A much superior team, and Kirk Gibson hits a home run. And what game does he hit the home run in?
Game
1.
Was that game 1?
Yeah.
I thought it was the series decided.
Yeah,
wait,
exactly.
So he's out there pumping his fists in game 1?
Yeah.
You don't pump your fists in game 1.
That's what's amazing about baseball.
I didn't know that.
So it was just assumed that they would win because of this dramatic thing that happened in game 1, and sure of all they did.
And Bill Buckner as well. A lot of people think that was game 7.
I know, they do. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And also, if you go when Boston beat the Yankees when they were down 3-0 and they won 4 in a row, and then they won 4 straight after that, to beat St. Louis or whoever was the National League champ. So, if you get on a streak during the regular season in baseball, you can run that streak, whether it's a winning streak or a losing streak, for a lot.
See, I find basketball to be the most difficult because the final score is the most arbitrary. Because the final score in basketball has a weak correlation to how the game went. You could blow a team out and beat them by 7 because garbage time. You know what I mean?
Right. You're always telling your friends, no, it was different than the ticker looks.
Yeah.
And you got a bunch of scrubs in there, and or it's a close game, and then suddenly it's fouled, and all of a sudden they win by 14, or it's a tie game, and then they win by 9 in overtime.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's anything. Any crazy thing can happen.
Now, are you out of the game now?
I say football is the hardest because the ball's not round. And to me, a round ball going into a round hoop or putting a round ball going into a hole is more predictable than a weird shaped ball that can do anything. Like once it bounces off a guy's chest and goes in the air, and then it's bouncing on and the weirdest thing is 20 guys jump on the ball in a big pile, dog pile.
And they're squeezing each other underneath there also.
Because technically,
holding each other.
Whoever, if you had a camera that looked through people, technically the guy that's on the bottom of that pile holding the ball, touching the ground, covered with human beings, is the one that possesses the ball, but he's never the one that ends up with it.
No.
It's the big giant guy.
It's whoever has the least nerves below the waist.
Exactly.
In their extremities.
Exactly. Which it seems like athletes have that I could never. You see a boxing and a guy takes it right below the belt and he shakes it off in a minute. I would be throwing up at the corner for like an hour and a half, you know.